Hello viewers, SuperGT here. Let's get straight into this video. Now I'm going to kick it off with a tiny bit of LMP1 at Fuji. So this is the Nations Cup race and we had a bit of a problem with it because, well, we got into the lobby here and the bad decision I made, I suppose, was to choose the 10 PM slot because the game crashed and therefore that was the 10 PM slot, that was the last race and I couldn't get back in. So we completely missed the chance for another video there, and I was looking forward to that Group 1 at Fuji. I think that could have been a good race. It might have been an awful race. But we turn our attention then instead to Brands Hatch in Britain. Good stuff. It's one of my favourite tracks. And this guy getting in there early with the pig messages. Good to see that. So this is qualifying, and we've got our 10 minutes here to set a lap time, of course. You probably know what qualifying is by now, probably shouldn't have to explain it. So this is the run-up to my first flying lap, and I was distracted by a yellow flag which came out. And as a result of that, and a result of my just general lack of awareness, I bottled my first flying lap. I did get to bank a lap in there, 1.1 seconds off the lead, so it wasn't an amazing lap. So we do have to come in, change our tyres, so back onto another pair of softs, another 2 pairs of softs, and this is my flying run. So coming around to the end of the lap, I'm about 8 temps up. As you can see here, 8 temps up, but unfortunately just caught the grass coming through Sheen. Very easy to do. The car kind of bounced awkwardly on that curb. So as a result, you can see here, I'm not even in the top 14. So a shocking qualifying really, and one where I should have done better. In the Porsche Cayman, you can see there's about 5 of them in the top, or 3 of them in the top 5 or something. So a lot of work to do, and I've made it hard for myself. Down here in 16th with 12 laps ahead of us and 15 players ahead of us. So let's see. Let's see what I can do. It's going to be a frustrating race potentially because Brands Hatch is very hard to overtake around, but I mean, if I hooked up my qualifying lap, I probably would have been about top 6, top 5. So I've made that one position already. That the GTR, they're quite obedient, and I can just let him know that he got passed by a girl. So I've gone for this nice little livery here. So quite obedient there, giving me the space. I suppose you don't want too much to happen early on. It's very easy to get damage. I've noticed in many FIA races, getting damage lap 1 and then it just messes up your entire race. So this time around, not getting damage, you do have to watch out for that, of course. And the tyre wear, going for the soft tyre for the first stint at least. That's just 6 laps to do on that tyre, presumably, and then we could do another stint on the soft. We could go back onto mediums, which might be a better race tyre. We shall see. It's going to back up slightly through Sheen Curve. You see, I'm just going to have to cover the inside from the German behind and just protect the position. So just covering the inside here, because the Porsche Cayman, very good car for this track. It's a very good handling car, has lots of grip, but the straight line speed isn't amazing. So my little method here, he's going to go very defensive. I'm going to push him to the limit, and then I'm going to stay to the. You can see that I kind of stayed to the inside as long as possible, then move out to brake. And then he basically stuck on the inside, and I've got a stutter. So I'm going to go through. So kind of kept him over to the right hand side as long as possible, then move over to the left to brake, and then just sort of cut back on the way out of the corner and get the pass done on the way out. If they're intent on blocking on the way in, you have to get them on the way out. So kind of get them into that wrong position and then try to overtake them on the way out instead. So the Lamborghini just ahead of us, making a bit of a mistake on the exit of turn 3. So he's going to go down the position. I'm going to tuck into the slipstream here of P-Wax. So not quite sure if they're going to go side by side. They're not. The Lamborghini just about tucking in behind through Hawthorne. So of course the back section, the GP section, the GP loop, Brands Hatch, very difficult. And I had a run on him and I could have got the pass done there, but I just went into the back of him instead. So I suppose this one downside of the chase cam is that I can't see the front of my car, so I can't judge it perfectly. It's hard to judge exactly. So of course you want to maximise that slipstream as well. So Around the outside now, into the final turn, on the brakes, he's giving me the space. We've both got through there very nicely. So side by side down the main straight, I am of course on the outside of turn 1. So let's see how this one plays out. I'm going to try it, go deep on the brakes. And it looks like I've got the move done here. I'm just going to have to back off though because I was going to go into the gravel. So he's still there on the inside line and into the hairpin at the top of the hill. He's gone quite deep. I'm still going to try it around the outside. To be fair to him, he's left me the space. We've left each other the space. And now I finally have the inside line. So we were side by side for a 1, 2, 3, 4 corners there. So about a quarter of a lap side by side. Good racing. To go side by side for that long, there must have been some respect shown, I suppose. So now it's pretty much a matter of just trying to recover that gap, because you can see there P-Wax just gapping us slightly. So the gap 1.1 at the moment, 1.1 seconds. So that's what happens when you start battling with someone. You're going to lose time. So you want to get those passes done as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So going side by side for 4 corners, I got the position, so I suppose it's a good thing, but it's not ideal in terms of the amount of time I've lost. But immediately already 0.4 seconds behind, so P-Wax actually making a mistake through Sterling's corner. Hitting the apex nicely, you see just how big that group up ahead is. So we've got maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 cars very close to each other. They're only going to slow each other down in much the same way that I did with the Lamborghini. You see here, this is the start of the loss of grip now. Through turn 1 I went very wide, so on the soft tyre you can see the front left, the bottom left of the screen, it's beginning to wear. So we do have a clockwise circuit here at Brands Hatch. You can have a lot of right-handers, especially through the GP loop, so that front left is going to suffer. So rest in piss to that front left tyre, or not just yet, maybe on lap 6. So P-Wax went slightly defensive, and you can see on the way out that cost him. I'm not going to be able to get a run on him here, so I'm just going to tuck into the slipstream. Of course, fuel isn't something to worry about. We can just have a look at that at the bottom right of the screen there. We've still got 11 laps of fuel remaining, so we're good on that. That's not something you have to worry about at all. So there's no short shifting or any of that. You just rev the car up as much as you like, or as much as you need to. Of course, you still need to shift at the right place. Up to Sheen Curve, lap 4. Things have settled down nicely. You see just how close the back is. I've got a bit of a gap behind, 3 seconds behind. So I think they're battling a little bit too hard behind. So I'm going to look up the inside here, reminiscent of my earlier attempt. But you see here, P-Wax is quite clever. He kind of understands I can't go for the lunge. And on the way through, he does actually go pretty deep. And it was a strong move. Contact on the way out. It's hard to say whether I could have done that. I think I probably could have done that without that contact, to be fair. But we're going to progress with the race. I suppose it could have been a lot worse. Lap 5, mostly just kind of getting back onto the back of this pack. So every time you go for the pass, you lose a bit of time. So you have to kind of spend the next half a lap or so just trying to get back onto the back of the tail of the pack ahead. So we've got another Cayman just in front of us. So we should be fairly matched on performance, although I don't know what tyres he's using. And just really maximising the curve through Sheen. So this is an FIA race, but I think they've relaxed the track limits for this season at least. You don't really get so many penalties. In fact, I can't see a penalty anywhere in sight on this group ahead of me, which is good to see. So the Attends are there. So the Mustang, going into the pit at the end of lap 5. So potentially a 2-stopper, or you might go into the mediums to do 7 laps on the second stint. So you see I tried again on Foreland to try to keep him to the right hand side, and he defended a bit better. He didn't go too deep on the brakes, so I couldn't quite go for that move. So up into 11th as a result of the Mustang going to the pits, although he's still going to feature in the race later on. Down the hill, into the left, and it's really getting very close. It's 2 by 2 now. It's Noah's Ark all over again. And into turn 4, Surtees, a little bit late on the brakes, and it kind of bunched up a little bit, and awkwardly I've gone into the back of Gretson here in the Mazda Atenza, and he's just going to run a little bit wide, so I'm going to have to kind of back off to make sure I don't go past him. And unfortunately you see the gap that has created up ahead. Immediately 10th and 9th, it's about a second already just from that one mistake, my mistake. So I've only really cost myself there, because if if I want to make my progress through this field, I need to stop doing little contacts like that. Could have been a little bit earlier on the race, of course. Hindsight is a wonderful thing, but I'm sure with all that battling that they're doing, we're quite quickly going to catch up. A Forlan's going to slide through Sheen Curve, another victim of the famous or the infamous Sheen Curve, which really is probably the most tricky corner on this course. Blind entry, very easy to go wide. You see there just how bad the tyre wear is at the moment. That front left is definitely now dead. So Mazda are opting to stay out. The rest of us are going in. Stop at the end of lap 6, so halfway through the race. 12 divided by 2 is 6, in case you didn't do maths. So no fuel, we don't have to worry about that. And on the exit, we resume. You see then the Mustang going through in 8th, so he had a good lap there. That's always the result of the undercut. You go out on fresh tyres, so he gained as a result of that. Later round, lap 7, so catching up to the back of my fellow Brits here in the Hyundai. So not a car I actually see very often in Group 4, but I suppose it's good to see some variety here. So through Sheen, okay, right on the back of him now. Throughout this lap I kind of just reeled him in ever so slightly, so now of course we're right on him, and we have 1.2 seconds back to P-Wax behind in the Lexus, who I sense is kind of struggling in this race. The Lexus maybe not the best car in Group 4 for this circuit. So now I'm going to try again. We're going to move to the right hand side, and he kind of responds. I'm going to stay there and again move out to the left, try to get him on the way out. It's not quite going to happen there. He's defended well enough. I do have half a run. He's going to go defensive, so again moving to the left hand side. So I'm just looking at the guys ahead. So they've got the Spaniard in the Mitsubishi, and then someone else in the Mustang. I don't know what nationality they are. Just watching them as they are kind of beginning to pull away a little bit as a result of this fighting, so I do want to get past these guys as quick as possible and minimise the time loss, because I still sense that there's positions to be gained in this race beyond this 9th. I think I can get well to the top 10, but the race is spread out. Just looking at the map, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pretty much the top 10 is all spread out. The battle for 9th, which is the battle I'm in here, is closer it gets. He's gone very defensive into Westfield Bend around the outside, and well, I was expecting him to kind of push me a bit wider, to run me a bit wider than that, but kind of very compliant on the inside, and pulling off a nice little move around the outside up into 9th, with 8th just in sight, 1.1 seconds down at the moment. You see I've already gapped him, 0.8 seconds, 0.9 seconds already, the gap. So I think I should be able to pull away comfortably, focus entirely my efforts on the guys ahead. We can have a look at the map. Some people coming out of the pit lane right now, 2 guys, and that might mess up this little battle we have going ahead. And the Audi just comes out ahead on the inside of the Mustang, and that's going to cause some sort of aggravation with now the Mitsubishi up the inside into the hairpin. Is he going to be able to get the job done? I think he should just be able to get the space to pull off the pass. He does, just about. So goes Chevalier here in 8th, the pole, potentially going up to 6th, but then actually losing out, just going down to 8th. It shows you just how crucial some of these, the in-laps are. Sometimes you're racing someone who's somewhere around the track, and then they come into the pits, and then you're immediately racing them. On this occasion, Ghost here, if he was half a second quicker, he would have been ahead there. He would have been in 6th instead of 8th. It shows you just the fine margins can really, really matter. So you're always racing someone, even if you're on your own, you're probably racing someone who is on a different strategy. So you always got to keep pushing. He's actually going to get a penalty there as a result of just cutting the corner marginally. It was very close. I nearly cut it as well. And on the exit, just reminding him that he got passed by a girl, of course. And he just got a really poor run. I think perhaps just distracted slightly by the penalty. Just shows you, if you're just looking at the wrong thing at the wrong moment, very easy just to drop 2 wheels. I did it twice in qualifying, just looking at the wrong thing and just making a mistake. So progressing around lap number 10, there we go. Some weird little incidents in there. So lap 10, not really much happened, but at the end of 10 into 11, this Viper coming out of the pit lane and just going to drive straight off into the gravel. I'm up the inside of Alex into 6th place, into 6th. place, which is actually how you say that word. So, with the gap ahead 4.2 seconds, I think this is just about where we can get up to in this race. I've gone from 16th to 6th, but now the focus definitely shifts. It's definitely now a defensive race as opposed to an attacking one. So I've pretty much been attacking the whole time. So now it's just really a matter of keeping this guy behind me. The only consolation maybe is that this guy, the Mitsubishi, doesn't have amazing top end, so he's kind of matching me. I don't have great top end either, so he's not got something that I don't, which is good. I say the Mitsubishi is a fairly similar car, very good handling, just like the Cayman. So we're going to be fairly matched in that kind of sense. I don't know what tyres he's on, presumably mediums. I think a lot of people have shifted to the medium after looking at horror at how bad the tyre wear was in that front left in the first sector with soft tyres. So the gap actually now 5.2 ahead, so we can write that off. There's absolutely no chance of salvaging another position here, unless of course someone crashes. We have had a couple of incidents from people up ahead, and it is the last lap. You expect people to be fighting, and I think they are right on each other. But for the moment, that's not going to be my focus. My focus is behind through turn 1. The gap actually 0.8 as we come up into the hairpin, so I'm doing okay at this present moment. Down the hill again then, so less than a lap to go. Can I keep my cool? I'm famous for not doing that. I'm famous for making a stupid mistake, although hopefully I've got my mistakes out of the way in qualifying, making 2 silly errors. But now I've just got to really keep it cool, just make sure I don't do anything silly, and then I will come away with a decent result. Although you could argue that if I had qualified properly, I should be fighting for maybe 3rd or 2nd or something like that. As it stands, that's not what happened. I had to fight from the back. So coming through here, the gap 0.4, so he's definitely still there, still very close indeed. Can't really afford to relax at this point. If it's a 2-second gap, I can afford to relax, but 0.3 coming up the Sheen curve, I can just hear him whoosh past and through the corner. Oh man, who can say where the road goes? I don't think he can, because he's just driven straight off it into the gravel, which isn't where the road goes. So unfortunately, the Spaniard there not quite knowing where the road goes, despite going around it 12 times. So I've got a little bit of leeway here through the final sector, 3.3 seconds, and we're going to come through to finish in 6th place. There we go. Nice result, I think. Nice comeback, I suppose, from where I started. You see there, 4 Caymans in the top 6, so definitely a strong car for this track. Well, again, perhaps should have been fighting, I think, for 3rd, 7 seconds off the lead, 8 seconds away from where I was, and you're going to be losing a lot of time fighting your way through. But on the whole, a really enjoyable race, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe for more of the same, and hit the like button if you enjoyed. I shall see you next time, guys. Thank you so much for the amazing support recently. It has been incredible, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Listen.